Good afternoon, welcome back to Oven Mitts Without Any Tits. Thanks for joining us, thanks for sticking with us, thanks for subscribing if you are a subscriber, and if you're not, hit that subscribe, hit the like and all that usual jazz. Stay with us to see what's coming up. Now, the dog wants to play. So tonight's tea is one of Neil's favourites. It's probably his most favourite, I would say. Now it's called cheesy nacho mince and rice, but we just call it Orzo Pasta because it's easier. It's Orzo Pasta. So without further ado, we'll get going. So I've started off already, as I usually do. I've browned off some onions. So onto this, I'm going to put the 750 grams of mince. Get that straight in the pan. Again, if you've seen any of these recipes before, don't forget I will put the recipes at the end, so you don't need to write them all down now because they will be at the end with the method. So get that broken down a little bit, and then before I put that onto the heat, I'm just going to add 1 Oxo Cube. You know, and I didn't open the wings up and crumble it in the pack. So that'll be fine. I'm also going to add just over half a teaspoon of mild chilli, just over half a teaspoon of paprika, and just over half a teaspoon of onion salt. Now you can also, when you're browning it off with the onions, put a pepper in there. I used to, but I don't tend to bother anymore because sometimes, I don't know if you like me, you find that peppers, when you sort of might belch later on, they repeat on you, so I don't do that. So we're going to get this on the heat, get the mince browned off, take about 5-6 minutes, and then we'll come back. So that's all nice and browned off. Next thing is we're going to add 400 grams of Orzo Pasta. If you haven't seen Orzo Pasta, it's this. It's basically just small grains of pasta which look a little bit like rice. So I've got 400 grams into here. Excuse the train. I've got all the Velux windows open because it's a little bit warm in here today. I thought, why not open the Velux windows, seeing as that's what they're there for. So 400 grams of Orzo, just give that a bit of a mix into the mince. I have also put the oven on to preheat as well, because once this is actually cooked off on the hob, it goes in the oven for a little while for the cheese to do its thing. So once that's done, once that's all mixed in, we're going to add in you can either use Passata, or this is my tomato sauce. It's around about a 400 gram tin of chopped tomatoes, or Passata, or this. And around about 400 mils of chicken stock also goes in. You may ask why I'm using chicken stock when it's a beef dish, and the honest answer is I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. It's just the recipe tells me to, so sometimes I do as the recipe says, not always, but sometimes. I'm just going to throw in as well around about a maybe it's just under a tablespoon of this Nando's sauce. So you can use any sort of hot sauce that you can get your hands on. Sriracha or some buffalo sauce or whatever, it all works exactly the same. So give it a good mix, and this is just going to sort of settle on the hob and just boil down so that the pasta can absorb all the moisture, and it'll be on there about 20 minutes or so, and then the magic will happen when it goes in the oven. So I'll get this on the hob and get it cooking down. So here we go. This is what it looks like after it's all absorbed the liquid. So it's almost like a bit of a stodge, but it won't be, don't you worry. So what we're going to do now is add the cheese. Now the recipe, this is where I've changed it slightly. The recipe says to use like cheddar cheese, like proper cheese. Now I don't. You can if you want. You probably want to use about 150 grams, 160 grams of cheese. I tend to use Primula, which is just like a cheese, squirty cheese, or like a cheese spread type thing. So in this, you put about 3/4 of the tub. This is a 150 gram tub of cheese. Put about, maybe about half into that. Give it a really good mix up with that, and the rest of it will go on top. Now again, the recipe does say that you put, you crumble up a bag of Doritos before you put the cheese on, or after the cheese, I can't remember. But again, I don't. I've tried it, and it actually doesn't bring anything to the dish because the Doritos just go a bit soggy and they don't stay crispy. So I don't do that because it's extra calories there you don't need. So that's that pretty much mixed. It just kind of gives it a bit of a creamy texture and a creamy taste having the cheese spreading there. If you do prefer a bit of stringy cheese, please, you know, feel free to put a bit of mozzarella or something in it, or use proper cheese because it will just give it that stringy effect. But certainly for the top, I find if you use proper cheese, it goes a bit hard when it's in the oven. Whereas this, you get like a bit of a film on the top, but it still stays a little bit gooey. Then gooey cheese is nice. Gooey cheese is good. So let's just bear with me. So you don't want to know what the dogs are trying to do outside. Let's just say that the girl one's in season. The boy one has been done, but we don't want any of that nonsense. So anyway, back to the food. So you just squeeze this all along the top, and the heat will kind of make it spread out and go a bit gooey and lovely and yummy. If you do try this dish, you might sort of find your own little tweaks to it, much like I do, much like with all the recipes that I've gone, to be fair. Find your own little tweaks, find what's nice for you. If you don't like a particular recipe that I've done and you think it could do with a different, for your taste, a bit, you know, some different flavours, add them in, see what happens. So there we go, that is it. Now that'll go in the oven for about 15 minutes or until the cheese kind of starts to go a little bit brown. So once that's browned off, it's time to take it out and get eating. Now there's a bit of a sideline to that. Neil's just come home because he had to call and get me some Primula because I forgot I'd not got any in. I thought I'd got some, but I hadn't. And he also bought me, how nice is this? Some roses. And what makes them even better is that they're whoopsie ones. You know they're like a good whoopsie. Reduced from £15 to £6, £6.60. That is a bargain. So while I'm waiting for that to cook, I'll go and put these in some water. We'll check in with you in a minute. So there we have Orzo pasta with a nice cheese on top, squeezy cheese. So I'll get this dished up so you can see what it's like. So yeah, I almost sort of cut it a bit like a pie. One thing I didn't mention before as well is when you're doing it in the pan, just remember to keep stirring it because otherwise it will stick to the bottom. This is probably the first time in ages I've made it, it hasn't stuck to the bottom. There we go. Orzo pasta. Very nice. I should go and dish it up to Neil. So if you enjoyed this, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and we'll see you next time. And don't forget, if you do want to make any donations to the Copperfield charity that we are raising money for, the link is in the just giving link is in the description below. You don't have to, it's just something that we're doing on a bit of a sideline for this. So give it a try yourself, see what you think, let me know. I'll see you next time.